Uh, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to have the first presentation on the morning, this beautiful city of Florence. Some words to my person. I'm head of the Department of Computer Science of the University of Applied Sciences Technology in Vienna, Austria. Is to Australia without conquerors. And surprise.
Can't hear you.
Microphone. Is there a microphone? There should be a microphone.
It was not good from the other.
Okay. Microphone does not yet work. Here, try it. Is it better now?
How?
No.
The microphone I see is this one. Is everyone finding problems with the audio? Yep, it should work.
It works. Is it better now? No. One, two, three. So. Okay. I will keep it here. Sorry. So surprise, I'm talking about AI. Everybody is talking about AI, everything is AI. And the most important thing, I believe, is there are few people who are really aware of what AI is. And so I start with a question. Do you think AI is able to think? Yes, no, some yes, some no. I'm a computer scientist, and I basically know how AI works. It does not think. Never, ever. It only calculates probabilities. So whatever you ask AI, the answer you get is a sequence of probable words. That's it. No meaning, nothing, just a sequence of probable words, of the most probable words, which follow the first string of words. So you end up with strings of words without any meaning for the AI, but with a lot of meaning for you, of course. And the most important thing for that is, if you really go into that, for tasks like writing software, for tasks like doing simple programs, it's perfectly fine. Because AI knows what usually is being done in that situation. And what usually people mean when they say write an, I don't know, Hello World program. It's simple. And of course, AI helps you a lot in these tasks. But if you have a task which is more specific, which is more sophisticated, you always are going to end up into troubles because AI does not know what you mean. And AI does not know a real new solution because it's just probabilities. And the consequence of that is when you look into the field of software engineering, it's very easy to do all those simple tasks students have to do when they start studying. It's absolutely easy. So this really changes the focus of teaching. And to tell you the background of that work we do here is, in the beginning, many people at our department said, no, we just forbid the use of AI. But what's the point of that? Everybody uses AI. Everybody uses in the real world situation, uses AI to make programs better. Programming is a form of language. So large language models are perfectly fine to use this language and much better in using this language than humans. It's much easier for them to understand that, or whatever understanding means in that context, how to put the order right and everything. So AI really does a great job in simple tasks, but when it becomes more complicated, it fails. And many people now say, well, it will be different in the future. Yes and no, but I think the no is going to be the stronger part, because AI has something like a tokens. Tokens is whatever, it's an internal measure of what AI can address, and the tokens are limited. So AI only can handle a certain amount of associations, and if you go over that amount of associations, you still get answers. But they are wrong, they don't fit, they are stupid, they are pointless. they everybody gets answers like yes, and now we add 3 to 4 and it's 8, and because it's 8 you have to say no, it's not 8. Yeah, perfectly, you found out it's not 8. Good input, so it's 7, but it still means it's close to 8. And what does this AI tell me? This is nothing to do with thinking. Yes, because it's probable answers to that problem. So what we face in computer science, and the whole talk is going about to be around that issue, is the junior jobs. The jobs people do in the beginning in their career can be done by AI, but not the complicated tasks. But how do people get to a senior level if they skip the junior tasks? They use AI, and so we have to find a new way of teaching. And basically, so what we do is that we try to personalize the learning experience for students by using AI, but we try to force them to think. Because in AI, you get instant solutions. And the traditional way of teaching computer science is you give tasks to the students solve the task, you judge the task, say, well done. And any content or anything the students handed in is generated by AI. If the students insist, I did it myself, you have no chance to prove the opposite, even if you know, because of some hints. So what we try to foster by using AI is to force the students to develop the cognitive processes. And I will show you a very simple scheme how that works. And we already use this in teaching in software testing with the GASC. This is a German company which offers tests worldwide in software engineering certification programs. And these programs are being taught by AI-assisted things. And basically, it works very fine because the students really like that. In the software developing process, I'm not going to go deeply into that, but the software developing process is fairly easy. You start from requirements engineering, you need project management, and in the end, you should get something like your iPhone, you take it and say, oh, it works, I can book something. But there's one crucial task beforehand. We have to ensure that the software does what we say it does. Which is a real difficult thing. I mean, the judgment of the device in the end or the user, this is the real thing we have to do. I don't go into that in detail either, but all of this, all of these tasks are supported by AI now, all, dot, period. There's nothing to talk about that. Whatever you do, you use AI. And you get hints and you get things which you have to improve, but it's AI generated. And in the end, for software engineers, they're becoming more productive, definitely more productive. And the companies like these outcomes. The companies are quite happy with that. And what we see basically is in requirements engineering, the influence of AI tools is relatively low, because the thing is, we have to find out what you want to know, want to have. And we cannot base it on assumptions. If you do that, you get the software and you say, what? If I don't, you know what I mean? It's many softwares like this, especially in-house systems like we have in universities. You always ask, what did they think when they developed this software? Yes, they thought for themselves. They didn't ask the people who are going to use it. In software design and architecture, it's medium because it's a creative task, and sometimes you have to use architectures which are more complicated. Coding and code generation, easy. You can generate code for nearly everything. The only thing you have to do is you have to integrate it. Software testing, AI, it's perfect for AI. Debugging and maintenance, it's medium. Of course, debugging is supported, maintenance is supported, but you have to do a lot of thinking where you want to go and what you are going to improve and. And project management, it's slow, but you have to run the project, but it can be supported by AI. So what we basically do now is we split down, or we divide any subject we try to teach into very small learning outcomes. We specify, or we try to specify what students have to know. Let's stay with usability testing. So we say the student must be able to understand however that can be judged, when to use A/B testing, when to use the SUS a score system, when to use remote usability testing or whatever. And the student must be able to set up a usability testing scheme or plan involving whatever. So we break that down very easily. And then these tasks, these learning activities, they can be done assisted by AI. The student can ask the AI, when do I use A/B testing? Aha, okay. So when they are doing these well, I forgot to mention, those learning outcomes, they are supported by lots of questions. We ask questions to these learning outcomes. So the students know what is going to come when the exam is due. And for software testing, it's about, at the moment, we have about 250 questions for 5 ECTS course. And these 250 questions, they're similar, of course, and they always tackle the same thing, but from different perspectives. And the students must be aware that any of these questions can come to the exam, which will be supervised by humans. So they have no chance to hand in something generated by AI unless we tell them you can use AI to improve whatever you do here. So these learning activities basically are AI supported, and students love this. They love this. They tell us we can ask at 5 o'clock in the morning when we come back from whatever. We can ask because it comes up to our mind, how can we do this or that? And so that really, really helps a lot. But the assessment methods itself, they must be done by humans in the end. You cannot do this with AI. At least we didn't find any way to do that. So I just go quickly through the slide. So what we try to get people into that problem-solving activities by teaching them the small things they have to know to solve that specific or those specific problems which arise in that area. Well, that's not that important. The assessment problem is really something we have to deal with. What we did now, I already mentioned this. We say, write a program which does this and that, hand it in. Forget about it. You get perfect solutions. So we really have to change all the assessment systems we have. And when I say all, I mean all, and that's a lot. And the teachers are very reluctant to do that because they have a tradition of, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or how they did, and they have their examples, and they are quite sophisticated, but it doesn't work anymore. It simply doesn't work anymore. So what we basically try is we focus on oral exams, which is quite easy in our systems. On the master level, we have groups of 15 people And if you set up a test for 15 people, you can do that in an hour way. It's no problem. They sit there, they do their task. You can talk to them. It's quite an open environment. It's not that rigid. You don't have to do that on paper. You can use the computer, but we see if they use tools, and we know if they use tools, which they are not allowed, and we are able to block them in many ways. But this really changes. So I just, in the end, I just want to tell you this case study with the ISTQB practical test stuff. The ISTQB scheme is one of the most known software tester education schemes worldwide. It's in several levels. And what I did for GASC was to develop the AI teaching tool, which allows the software testers to learn everything by the help of AI. And basically, students get questions and they answer in natural language. And then they get answers by the AI. The AI judges the objective, it judges the answer, and it gives hints and advices. And very important, they are 95% correct. Of course, the AI gives incorrect answers, but tell me one teacher who doesn't give incorrect answers. I mean, 95% in instant answer, perfectly structured, is perfect. And some of them are wrong. Okay, so we live with that, and students know that. They know that there might be glitches in the answers, but they prefer the way of teaching. They always get the personalized feedback on what they achieved. So the AI tells them in the end, you have 15 chapters, you mastered 7 of them with 70%, 3 of them with 50%, but you need to improve in these chapters. So they know where to focus on. And they get a new set of questions. Out of this huge pool, they get questions and they can answer them. And basically, it's more fun than any other way of teaching because it's well structured. But the main thing is the structuring process in the beginning, which is much more complicated than what we did before. I just have 1 or 2 minutes. Well, the assessment in the end, it's a hybrid model. They have a test. They get 15 questions in different levels of competence. They answer the questions, and the AI does a pre-assessment. And this pre-assessment is handed over to a human who is educated in that field, and this human goes through that assessment, which is easily done. I mean, when you do this several times, you get used to that. You see, oh no, that's wrong. It's not 75%, it's 50% or 0% on the specific question. And so you correct that. And in this hybrid assessment method, it's quite easy to get out of these glitches. And the other thing is, they do in that specific case, they do the test online, but it's proctored. So a human is watching, and this is always a sort of discussion. But the process is running on the computer are also checked. So if there are instances running of a browser with unknown content, the test is quit. So it's really well, I think there wasn't done much work to really make that work in the end. Okay, I think the role of the instructor is also changing completely. Most questions are going to be asked to AI, especially in computer science. But the instructor has to prepare everything. And I think I come to the end of the presentation, and I just want to give some quick recommendations. AI has become fundamental tool. It's no way to get rid of AI. We have to embrace it. But educators must prepare students to use the AI in a correct way, which means they should use it critically so they know when the AI works, when it doesn't work. It should be used ethically, and it, of course, can improve creativity in an academic and professional context. Thank you for your attention.